Mentor, Hayes in. There's a chance, all right. There's a try from the chance. Again. They go close. Isaac Briggs.
It's the Briggs
Is
show.
he going to get it down? He's made the moment his own. He's converted. The Scorpions have come back. They're knocked off the defending premiers of 2015. The final score, the Scorpions 26, Lakes 24.
Josh Schmiedel joins me on the show. Hello, Josh. Good, mate. Mate, that microphone, I'll just get you to hold it up a bit. But, mate, who do you like? We'll go through the tips first of all. Maitland are playing South. South's, of course, in second spot.
I think Maitland, they're due for a win, obviously, and they've always been in there every single game that they play. They've only just been sort of losing, and they're winning at half-time or lose it or come back. But I just think going into semi-finals football, you've got to pick South. Leading into, they're also going for a minor premiership with us, same as West. So you think with that on the line, they'd have to win there.
Another good game on the weekend will be Curry up against Central. A lot for Curry to play for, I guess. Yeah,
well, they're only just hanging in that top 5 position at the moment, and they're going to want to be there, I think. Being again going into semi-finals, they need to win that game, and they probably need a good win if it comes out of for and against or anything like that. So I'll be picking Curry.
Mate, who do you like, West versus Cessnock, the Goannas?
I'd like Cessnock to win the game. It would help us out a lot, but West are West, and they're just going to be too structured, and I think too strong around their forwards.
Yeah, for sure.
Where we're at the moment, and I think they'll get the win there.
Mate, as we mentioned on Saturday, it's Old Boys Day. It's you guys' last game in 2016 here in the preliminary rounds anyway. What's it mean to be a Scorp on Old Boys Day?
Oh, it's a huge thing. Like, they're the games you want to play for, and you don't want to be clapping our heel on Old Boys Day for a loss. So we want to win, and we want to put it over Lakes. So I think last year, as I said before, when I've spoken to you, they beat us 4 times last year. This time we've had a draw and a win, and we want to finish them off with another win.
Mate, it goes without saying, it's a big game for you guys.
Yeah, it's a huge game. Like, we're looking at this minor premiership, and it's the first one our club's ever going to have. Well, not ever going to have, but it's the first one they have never had one. So, and yeah, it's a huge game. If we lose this, and we've got the potential of losing next week, we can go anywhere from 1st to 4th. So
yeah, it's incredible, isn't it? It's unforeign territory.
Tight comp, but we win this, we're another step closer to getting that minor premiership and getting that home game off into the semis, which is what we want.
And I guess, anyone in that top 5 can actually win the comp.
Yeah, that's it. Like, being where we are, we've got 6 teams that are in the running for the top 5 at the moment, and I think everyone's beat everyone or lost to someone or had a draw, so there's all been in the mix. So,
Open grade, they've also got a chance to be minor premiers this year as well.
Well, they're sitting in 2nd spot. They were first there for 1 week, and they lost the 1 game, which put them back to 3rd, I think, and then they beat Maitland to put them back in the 2nd, so they're also going for the minor premiers. And our reserve grade, they've just hitting their straps now. They've put themselves up to 4th, and they've got the potential of 2nd and 3rd if they can win the next 2. So the club's going strong in the top grades.
Mate, it's all guns blazing out here, hey?
Yeah,
fantastic.
Good.
And of course, we don't want to look too far into the distance, but I mean, you've got a good playing group here, and it would be good to keep this playing group going forward for next year and build that continuity.
Yeah, well, I think that's what we've had to do each year. Is we've had a few players come in, a few leave, and a few come in. If we can, obviously, what we're doing at the moment's working. So if we can keep the nucleus of this side going into the future, then hopefully we'll be here every year.
Mate, Adam Bettridge, top job here at the club.
Yeah, unbelievable. Like, he's probably one of the smartest coaches I've had to deal with, and he's helped my game a lot. Like, I've changed my game this year a lot. I'm a bit more structured with how I play, and Ads is very clinical with everything he does, and we look at all the stats, and we look at everything. He looks at every little aspect of the game, which is obviously helping us out.
Simon Allen, he's out for the year. Somebody mentioned
he broke his arm, and didn't realise he spoke to the trainers, and they didn't realise it broken. He's gone back out there last week. During the game, and I don't know if he's made it worse, but he'll be gone for the season, which is a huge loss for us because he was playing 80 minutes, so it'll change our rotations around a lot. But
you got the depth to cover it.
We've got that depth that we can cover it. So
fantastic, mate. Well, mate, thanks very much for coming on the show. All the best on Sunday, and we'll catch up with you later. Josh Schmiedel, everybody. We'll take our final break and come back with a few more interviews. It's game day here at Lyle Peacock Field.
He's got it back, Scotty Briggs. throws out the back, juggled by Grew.
Oh, great try.
Oh, Adam Grew's grown legs and he scored the try.
Yeah, one thing with this side, mate, they won't ever give up on me, and we sent the message out. We had to play a bit of football, and the second phase was pretty good. And to come here and get a win like that, you know, from where we were 24-10 down on the back end of a hiding on a penalty count, so much character in the squad, mate. And I, you know, from 1 to 17, they were great today, and you know that's a big game for us.
Is there a chance? Good short ball. There's a chance, all right. There's a try from the chance. And Nathan Cantor.
That's been a long time coming, that one.
There's the set play.
Macquarie back in the match.
That's what they needed to do. They've been threatening that.
It's Old Boys Day. Big crowd expected, but I'll tell you what, it all happens behind the scenes, hey?
Yeah, it's a massive day, massive weekend, as a matter of fact. We're following up Old Boys Day with a golf day on Sunday. But last Old Boys Day we sold something like 100 pies.
Wow.
Close to 100 sausage rolls.
Yeah.
I think we sold about 40 odd cartons of the major sponsors' beverage.
Good old Tuies.
Good old Tuies, and we serve alcohol responsibly out here in Scorpion Land. You know, something like 200 steak sandwiches.
It's a big day.
150 sausage sandwiches, so it is a big day. And of course it's a big game, so yeah, we're expecting a really big crowd here, and I think all the players who play on the day are going to be, you know, really happy to be playing, you know, with a big crowd behind them, and should be a good day. Weather's going to be good by the look of things, so we're looking forward to it.
It'll start bright and early.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fantastic. Mate, how do you think that everything's going out here? Adam's doing a great job as coach, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a class act. He's got a great squad of players, you know, across all 4 grades. His coaching staff is doing a great job. So far, everything's going okay for us, and we expect that to continue right through to into the semis.
All right, well, I better let you get back out there. It's a big day, a lot of preparation.
A lot of pies to be collected.
You better go get those pies.
Thanks, mate. All
Thanks,
the best.
What a tackle! What a grand final shot on James Barker. Welcome to Hunter Stadium, he says. They exploit the right-hand side. Here's the kick in towards the end goal area. Mackin's got to try and play at it. He does. He had no other option but to kick it over the dead ball line. We're going to have a goal line drop out here. 20 minutes gone in the grand final.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome along to the Newcastle Rugby League. It's the business end of the season. It is round 15 of the Newcastle Rugby League. Does it come much bigger than this? It's the match of the round. It's Lakes United here to take on the home side, the Macquarie Scorpions. The Scorpions, of course, going for their first minor premiership in the club's history. Currently, they're on first place on the competition ladder, and they're 2 points clear of Souths and Western Suburbs back in 19th place. We spoke to Bettridge this afternoon. He wants a win, and he's after the minor premiership. Is he going to get it this afternoon? Well, we'll find out in about 80 minutes' time for now. Let's introduce the commentary side. First of all, good afternoon to Morgan Campbell.
Afternoon, Peter. I was thinking a couple of hours ago as I was walking into the ground, it feels like only a couple of weeks ago that we were watching these two teams play, and then I realised that it was because they played a fortnight ago. But, you know, too much of a good thing's all right. This will be a good game today. They both need to keep the momentum going into the semis. Lakes have had a bit of a funny preparation. Of course, they've been up and down. They lost to Macquarie a couple of weeks ago. Macquarie, well, they're a more disciplined side this year. It would be a tremendous achievement for them to win a minor premiership. It would be a great achievement for Adam Bettridge because He's just taken a few of the rough edges off them. I think he's found that sweet spot between having a very attacking side with a lot of flair, but not having too many mistakes in them. And I think they're playing smarter football this year, and that's why they're a good chance today.
Well, down on the touchline this afternoon, he's back for his third appearance in 2016. Tom Taylor, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Pete. Yeah, just like Morgan was saying, we had a really good game 2 weeks ago when Lakes played Macquarie, and everyone was buzzing for another game as soon as possible. And what do you know, we've got one here this week. So should be a cracker.
Okay, Tom, well, thanks very much. We'll come down to the touchline throughout the match. But what we will do before the teams come out onto the field is go through the starting lineups. Let's go through the away side here this afternoon. The Seagulls, they look this way. At full-back is Jamie Goulmere. On the wings is Matt Craig and also James Barker. The 3 and 4 is Josh Charles and Ikanofo. The 6 and 7 is Kelly along with Bradley Murray. Sean Boss in 8, D-Sacks in 9, Burgess in 10, Harton in 11, Hoggett's in 12, and locking the back of the scrum is Lyndon Hills. The interchange for the Seagulls, Ben Sams, Chance Burgess, Marcus Marsh, and Callan Adams in jersey number 17. For the home side, the Macquarie Scorpions, Matt Simon is at fullback. On the wings, it's Matt Hay and also Ryan Pywell. Cantor and Farvey Ellie in 3 and 4. Scotty Briggs goes to 6. The captain is Andrew Subner. Isaac Briggs in 8. Chris Hyde in 9. Swadling in 10. Schmidl in 11. Harmer goes to 12. And Blake Gallen in 13. The interchange for the Scorpions, Noble, Alchin, Grew and Randall Briggs. And of course they're coached by Adam Bettridge. The Scorpions, well, they've won 4 of their last 5, whilst for the Lakes United Seagulls, they've lost 3 of their last 5. So the Seagulls are out on the field and we await the home side. Morgan, where's your money going this afternoon?
Yeah, I think I've got to go Macquarie today, just by virtue of the fact that they're at home. They showed a lot of resilience a couple of weeks ago against Lakes. It was a typical Lakes performance in the respect they didn't get going quickly. It took them a bit of time to wind up, and then they came at them hard at the end of the game. But unlike the last couple of seasons, Macquarie found a bit more and managed to get over the top of them. So I think today, you've got to back Macquarie, pushing for that minor premiership. They've got what I guess you'd call the feel-good factor around the club, and I think that'll be enough to get them home. What about you, Tom?
Oh, my money's going in the bar because with my relation to the referees, I don't think I should call it better. Last time they played, I called a draw and it nearly was. So I'm going to call a draw again.
You mongrel fence sitter.
Yep, love it. That's where I belong today.
Well, it's a big crowd in here at Lyle Peacock Field. As we see Andrew Subner coming out onto the field, leading out the Macquarie Scorpions. It's Old Boys Day. It's the last competition round at home for Macquarie. And also members of the 1974 Grand Final winning reserve grade team in attendance here this afternoon. I would say a crowd in excess of 1,000 people. This will be finals football, and we're live and exclusive thanks to Top Better in 2016 in the Newcastle Rugby League. On average, the Lakes United Seagulls have been able to score 25 points in attack. They've conceded 19 points in defence. While it's a similar story on the page for the Macquarie Scorpions, they've averaged 25 in attack as well and conceded 17. So on paper, there's not much splitting both of these sides. But the most important thing is the ladder. And as I mentioned, first place for the Scorpions, 21 points, 2 points clear of Souths and West back in 19. While the Seagulls, 18 points in 4th spot. They've won 8 this season, they've only lost 4, and they've drawn 2. Our referee this afternoon is Tom Aylett. Touch judges Dylan Clark and Greg Ryan.
Peter, do we know who this gent is kicking the ball off the tee? What's going on there?
Mate, he's actually a member of the reserve grade squad 30-odd years ago. They're giving them a bit of recognition, and it's great to see.
Oh, fair enough. I was just wondering who it was. There you go.
Yeah, there's a rule in the rule book about a VIP kickoff too.
Is there now?
Yeah, I don't know why it's there, but it's there. So
what, as if to say, saying basically that someone can come out and kick off and it's not the real kick off?
It's more or less saying that.
Did the referees really need that clarified? Is that
basically if he does that, don't play on?
Oh, excellent. That's good to know.
Just a friendly reminder there from the rule book.
So Saturday afternoon football, it's underway right here on Newcastle Rugby League's #1 live streaming station. Exclusive rights to Bar TV Sports as we see the Scorpions coming away from the southern end here at Lyle Peacock Field. First place on the competition ladder, the side with the ball. That's Gallen. He runs hard and straight up towards the 40-metre line. As I mentioned, a win today will seal them the first ever minor premiership in the club's history, and a first penalty off the whistle of Aylett here. Tommy, as we go down to the touchline, 40 metres out from the Macquarie goal line.
Yeah, mate, looks like Lakes were just holding on too long in that tackle. Just trying to slow the ball down. They just slowed it down too much.
You see that as a penalty to set the tone, Tom? Is that the idea, that the referee there says that's too slow, we're going to penalise them straight up to let them know that they're not going to cop it?
In a way, yeah, I guess you can put it that way. Some refs do that. Some refs decide not to blow anything unless absolutely necessary in the first 5 minutes, just to see how the game's going to progress. But as you can see today, it looks like Tom is just stamping his authority, which is fair enough on a game like this.
So Chris Hyde now gives it away to Gallen. Out the back door it comes. They're pressing the line, aren't they? That's Randall Briggs. 2 metres out from the goal line. Plays it back to Subner. They go short and charging their way now. That's Isaac Briggs. Comes back now to Hyde. Cuts out Gallen. They come out wide. That's Subner running onto it now. It's Briggs. There's a chance out here for Simon. Simon. Try time. First one. We've waited 3 minutes. It's the home side, Morgan, leading by 4 points to 0.
Well, Matt Simon's not a character you want getting momentum up close to the line. He was just too quick there, but lovely backline move, and that's been one of the differences for them this year. They're a very well-coached side this season, Macquarie, and those sort of backline plays, very crisp, very sharp, well executed, in they go.
Don't want to give Matt Simon any space at all. Very good change of angles when he caught that ball, just giving himself a lot of room to run. Just showing off his quick turn of pace, and he just managed to get through that hole.
Well, here it is on the Bar TV replay. Look at that. Perfect hole running. And Matt Simon, he just had too much foot, didn't he? There for Sean Boss in support. And first try after 4 minutes. An electrifying start for Macquarie.
Well, they've started well. I mean, Lakes haven't had the ball as yet. Penalty straight off about the third tackle of the game, and then they let them down there. I can't imagine the Lakes coach, Dean Noonan, to be too pleased with the start they've made, letting concede a penalty and then letting them in it. Well worked set play, but all the same, you expect to defend those as the reigning premiers. So not a good start for Lakes at all. Although that's not unusual for them.
Both sides have already met twice this season. Back in round 6, it was a 24-all draw at Carl Oval. And only a few weeks ago, Lakes were leading by a considerable margin. The Macquarie were able to run them down in the back half of that second half to get up by 26-24. So here's the chance now for Favielli to convert the try. Is he able to do it? Radar just slightly off here, so no change on the Benedict Recycling scoreboard, Tom, as we go down to you. Macquarie lead by 4 points to 0.
Yeah, I don't think anyone was expecting this start to be, well, the points to be scored that quick in the game, but yeah, that'll definitely boost Macquarie's confidence, and I can guarantee I don't think Lakes will be giving away a penalty in this set.
Have we seen a better combination of a beautiful blue sky and a lovely green ground so far this season, Peter? Isn't it magnificent today?
The curator's done a spectacular job.
Yeah.
The contrast is unbelievable.
Oh, it's just a lovely day. Yeah.
I know you're a curator in an old life, Morgan, so you'd be very happy with this rye grass that we're playing on here today. Just like that man in his fluoro red boots, Briggs, playing it back. So the contrasting of colours, Morgan, I know, you'd be loving this. You'll sleep well tonight. That's for sure. That's Isaac Briggs popping the pass out the back. They're keeping it alive. They're keeping it running. They're keeping it going to the middle of the park. And that's Randall. And he's cut down here, just short of the 40-metre line. They advance it now through Adam Swaddling. He bashes and barges his way up towards the halfway line. So 4 minutes gone. It's all Macquarie. They cut out Gallen. They're going to kick off the boot of Hyde. There goes the ball in towards the in-goal area. They've got to play at it. They've got to get back into the field to play, and they've done so, but they're terribly close. But awesome play there in the Newcastle Rugby League. How good was that to watch?
That's not the first time we've seen that from Lakes this year. They did it a couple of weeks ago against Curry and ended up conceding a try as the ball was hurled back in field to nobody. That's the sort of thing that will give a coach the heebie-jeebies. Just an interesting thing to note out of these first few minutes as Lakes are getting their first use of the ball. The 12 for Macquarie, Brock Harmer, hasn't started the game, and Randall Briggs is into the starting lineup playing on this left edge in number 18.
Well, this is it on the replay. Have a look at this. They were not meant to get out of their own in-goal area there, but that's class. Back to the live shot, and they're back out to the 20-metre line here. They'll need to put in a good kick here. Not the best kick. It's only gone towards halfway.
Well, that was a bit of a ratty set, wasn't it, from Lakes? I mean, they only got out to about 25 metres from their own line, and then the organisation on last to get the kick away wasn't great. Jack Kelly found himself in a bit of a cul-de-sac there, so Macquarie straight back on the attack.
I thought they might have lifted then, just knowing that Varka was able to get out of that in goal. I thought the whole team would have lifted and been really driving hard to get out of their own red zone. But, yeah, they got trapped on the 30 on the last.
So it comes back to Hyde. They're going to come the left-hand side. There's Sumner. Steps, weaves and takes the shot there of D-Sacks. He'll play the football back now. There's Chris Hyde again. Unlucky in the rookie series only a few weeks ago. Came third, but did tremendously well. Big raps on him. To be in the bottom three is an unbelievable effort. So 4 points to nil here. Back there now to Briggs. He puts it onto the in-goal area. There's Gallen! And Gallen meets them and thumps them into the ground here, Morgan. 5 out from their own goal line.
Well, I don't think Jamie Gilmere will be doing that again, running straight at Blake Gallen. He would have got the shock of his life when he looked up after picking up the ball. But it's a sign about Macquarie. I mean, in the end, that set didn't quite come off for them, but they weren't trying to score off every play. And that's been a big difference for them this year. And now they've got Lakes absolutely penned in their own zone.
That's Ikanofo being smashed. Come and cop that. Actually, before the match, I was downstairs in the Seagulls dressing sheds, and Chris Adams is here today.
12 metres in this set, Peter. 12 metres.
Yeah.
This is a swarm from Macquarie early on here.
There's a chance. There's a try coming if they can put it together. That's Subner. He gets it back to Gallen. He'll go all the way. Gallen's in. Oh, rugby league can bring up some miracle plays. That wasn't miracle. That was absolute pure class and a little bit of luck.
Well, every now and again you see a side defend so well that it wins them points. And that was an example. They absolutely swarmed on Lakes there, tackle after tackle. And again, Jack Kelly there with nowhere to go, has to try and kick the ball. The big charge down, and Haley's Comet must be approaching because Blake Gallen went over for the try.
Lakes look tired. They look tired. They're not getting out of their zone at all.
Well, this is it here. There's Gallen, probably the biggest out there for the home side.
I could be wrong, Peter. I don't have the stats at hand, but I would be surprised if he's had another try so far this year. I reckon he might have just spared himself the nude run.
Thank God.
Spared everyone else too.
Yeah, you're quite right.
Apologies to the Gallen family if
but
they're
you know,
watching.
Gallen, he doesn't pick up many tries, but he's always lurking, isn't he? You know, he's always around when the lead-up is going good, and couldn't have been a better lead-up to that try for the home side. They're on song here at Lyle Peacock Field. Now Varvielli, Macquarie's leading point scorer, picked up 5 tries this season, 110 personal points. This attempted goal could bring up his 46th. He's 10 metres in from touch, 18 metres out. He's on the western side of Lyle Peacock Field. Glorious afternoon for rugby league. He looks relaxed. Can he convert the try? Coming around, but coming around too much. So no change here on the Benedict Race Recycling scoreboard. 2 quick tries, pretty much in succession for the Scorpions. We're approaching the 10th minute of the first half, and that side leading, and they're going for their minor premiership, Macquarie.
Well, it's obvious intent, isn't it? I mean, they've come out today, and they're absolutely clouding them. I mean, every time Lakes are running the ball up, there's this, I keep using that word, that swarm of defenders. They're up really quickly. They're just encircling them. It's a real sign from Macquarie. They're saying, you know, we want this minor premiership, and we're going to take it. It's just going to be interesting to see if they can maintain that sort of effort for the rest of the game. Because if they don't, Macquarie Lakes are the sort of side who do love a comeback.
Tom, let's go down to the touchline. Is there much talk out there from Lakes United? You
not
can't
really
hear
not
it,
really.
can you, mate?
It seems to be pretty quiet there. I got a couple of. I'm sure there was a couple of words from Brad Murray trying to lift his team in a very profanity way, but you can go to that another time.
We'll come back to you. Mate, if there's any changes throughout the match, any injuries, we'll come back down to you for updates. Here's the kick off the boot now at Briggs. He's going to kick away from the fullback. But out there, the Seagulls pouncing on the football like they do at every opportunity. But they need tremendous runs here today, and somehow they need to get outside their own 30-metre line.
That's a good run. That was a good run. Good start to the set here.
That was James Varka. That's Ikanofo. He's been quiet in the back half of this season. No doubt Noonan has told him to get his hands dirty, get involved, get amongst it. He needs to. Last year he was a shining light for Lakes. Had a quiet season this year. He'll need to lift leading into the semi-final series. Now they go for a scoot from dummy half. That's D. Sachs picking up good ground. Running to the halfway line as Hyde gets off him along with Isaac Briggs. That's Murray. They've been able to shut him down quite, haven't they, in the opening 11 minutes of this match. They've been able to shut everything down that Lakes have possibly thrown at them. Let's see what they can do here. Off the boot it comes now of Murray. They're going to test the fullback there in Simon. Simon got an awkward bounce. Luckily, the Scorpions were back there to save the day, Tom, and they're back out to their own 20-metre line.
I think the Lakes chasers then had to pull up short of that ball because, as you can see, I noticed Dylan Clark on the touchline calling every single one of them offside. So if they had halted their chase by maybe half a second, I think they could have contested that ball and we might have seen a different result. As another penalty.
Yeah, use of the forearm.
Yeah. That's silly
Hyde,
there.
Well, I mean, they got away with it. Hyde was looking for the penalty there. He went for the dart at a dummy half, ran straight at the marker. And it was that beautiful sign in rugby league where neither of them, the marker wasn't trying to tackle him and Hyde wasn't trying to be tackled. And they kind of just waltzed for about 5 metres. They got away without a penalty there and then conceded one in the contact. So very wasteful from Lakes. And now Macquarie with another great chance here, starting a set 35 metres out.
Waltz.
Well, this is it here on the replay. Here, there's Hyde just said, get out of the way. I'm going to run at you all day, Casey Burgess. And if I do run at you, the referee might give me a penalty.
Using him as a shield.
He was. A human shield. We like that. We love that. That's Hyde again. Finding Gallen. Picked up a try. Out the back door it comes. They're inching their way down inside the 10-metre zone. Hyde again. Finds Gallen. He's after his second. Couldn't quite come. Back then out of Briggs. Out wide to Cantor. There's the third try. In 12 minutes. 12-0. It's a carve up early on.
Well, it's lovely football, isn't it? That was great play. I mean, Gallen there going to the line, getting it out the back. And then they were just clever enough to use the back line. And everybody ran the right lines. The timing was good. They've got all the signs of a team that has trained hard all year. They know each other well. They've got the combinations together, and that was lovely play. And, 12-0 with a kick to come. This is, as you say, it's a bit of a carve-up at the moment. I know Lakes have made a few comebacks over the course of this year, but they're setting themselves a bit of a task here.
I want to give a rap to Randall Briggs there. He ran an inside line, caught the ball two hands, and got the defender's eyes on him only, while Cantor's actually running an outline. So you watch as Randall Briggs gets the ball, he will run towards the goalposts, and Cantor stays on the outline. So he just gets the ball and then shuffles outwards. And Ikanofo he had the eyes for Randall Briggs only and just had no idea where Nathan Cantor was.
So Macquarie, an electrifying start here on Saturday afternoon football, going for their first minor premiership in the club's history. They are on song. Long way to go. We know what both of these sides are capable of. We know that a big margin in the first half is absolutely nothing, because both of these sides can turn 20-30 deficit into victory, as evident in the past two fixtures earlier this season. So Thiessen Vavali Eli hasn't been able to knock over one goal here this afternoon yet. He's booted home 45 this season. Let's see if he can learn from his other two. Yes, he has. He's converted. It's 14-0 here. Saturday afternoon football live on Bar TV Sports. Thanks to Benedict Waste Recycling and Top Better. Get in the game at topbetter.com.au.
Interesting point about this game today, Peter. Looking at the ladder, Macquarie, of course, as you say, top of the ladder and looking for their first minor premiership. They're on 21 points, but they have a points difference before the start of today's game of 122. The next best is South. You've got South and West second and third on 19 points. Their points difference is 90 and 86 respectively. So if Macquarie are to win today, even if they lost next week to South, they'd take a fair bit of running down with the points difference.
Morgan Campbell there in our outside broadcast box. We've got Tom Taylor amongst it on the touchline. And our major sponsors, topbetter.com.au, Benedict Waste Recycling, and Cornelius Crump, along with Supergas. Supergas is our match day sponsor today, and we'll let you know how to get gassed up throughout the call. So that is Hyde again. Look for the kick. There it goes. Going downfield. An awkward bounce there for Goulmere, but we know he's got pace and we know he's got athleticism. But Gallen, he's just got the same attributes.
Nothing's going for Lakes here today.
Oh, dear.
Oh,
well, there's
no.
D-Sacks. That's the story of the first half of the away
I
side.
stand corrected.
Well, they're going to say it was stripped, I think, Peter.
We've got a little bit of luck going their way. You take anything that you can get. At this stage of the match.
The contact there from Randall Briggs. I was about to say before that happened, this will be a very interesting set because Macquarie, they've got themselves 14-0 in front. They've put in 15 minutes of huge effort. But can they keep it going for the rest of this half? That's the question. Surely they can't maintain those levels of energy. But at the moment, they're up and in just like that.
Just watching this set, Morgan. Every single one of these tackles on Lakes they've had 2 or 3 players making the tackle. We've got 3 in this case. The previous set, when Macquarie were barging up the line, every single tackle, there was 1 Lakes player on making the tackle.
Let's have a look at the replay. There's the lost ball. As we come back now to the live shot, and Matt Simon, he's been turned inside out.
Such a good dummy there from Matt Simon. The winger took it.
The winger
turned inside out
dummy.
too.
And now here's Vivalielli. He's saying, I'll just offload the pass and we'll see who can do their best. We've got a few flocking seagulls that have dropped over from the eastern side of the lake here.
Are you a superstitious man, Peter?
I was just going to ask you, Morgan, did you arrange these seagulls to flop in here today?
No, it's nothing to do with me, but it's a bit of a worry. But I remember about 10 years ago now, there was an incident where Cessnock were playing Wyong in a grand final, and that week there were an abundance of kangaroos up the end of the main street of Cessnock, and people took it as an omen, which it ended up being, of course, because Wyong won pretty handily. So it might cause a few nerves seeing some seagulls turn up here today.
You are an animal man. I saw a picture of you a few weeks ago. Where were you? At the zoo with all these possums hanging off you?
Marmosets, my friend, yes.
Yes, marmosets.
Hunter Valley Zoo, mate. Yeah.
Yes, you know.
Having said that, I would be very concerned if any scorpions were here today.
Referee's going to ref at the ruck for this set, or maybe just this tackle. But
so it's all been the side with the football. The pendulum is in their favour by, I'd say, 90-odd% inside opposition's half. That's Hyde looking for Gallen. That's Gallen offloading. It comes out wider. That's Simon, juggled, let down.
Oh.
And they've fallen on the ball through Matt Hay. But we'll go down to the touchline, Tom. What's the referee ruling here, mate?
We just got a knock on from Macquarie, but I tell you what, Pete, I thought Lakes were going to jump on that ball and run the length of the field then. Unfortunately, they just were bumped off the ball by, I think it was Matt Hay.
Yeah, that's right. Hay dropped it and then at least had the wherewithal to then clout the other bloke so he couldn't get near it. Tell me about, you mentioned reffing at the ruck. Presumably that's something that the referee might just do for 1 or 2 tackles. Instead of marking out the 10, he might just get in the ruck and have a look at it. What, if he thinks there's a bit of rubbish going on there and wants a closer look?
Well, he just had time off and spoke to Brad Murray, and Brad Murray was clearly upset about something. So there'd been a couple of ruck penalties. I'm guessing that's what he spoke to him about. So being the next tackle is going to be off a penalty tap, so it was just going to be 2 teams running into each other. That's usually the best time to go to the ruck because it's going to be a big collision, and you need to get the players up as quickly as possible to begin the set.
And I guess the mere fact that he's there means that it's less likely there's going to be any rubbish because he's right there and can see it. So the players sort of have to be mindful of that. As we see, there's a forward pass. Lakes just piling the pressure on themselves at the moment. I mean, they've withstood an absolute barrage in this first 20 minutes. And to make mistakes like they're making, it just creates trouble for themselves. Macquarie, a big chance of going in again here on the back of the momentum.
As you said, Morgan, back in the day, talking early 90s, maybe even late 80s, referees constantly refereed at the ruck, which is effective. It cleans up the ruck, but unfortunately it doesn't do anything for the 10 metres that needs to be marked. So unfortunately it's not a win-win.
If you blokes would have a go and do 2 games a weekend, of course we could have 2 referees.
I'd hate that. I wouldn't. Oh, don't get me started on the 2 referees. Or the bunker.
Randall Briggs. Sean Boss was the boss on that occasion. Away now to Gallen. Out the back door to Briggs. He finds Simon. You won't miss him all day long in those bright yellow fluoro boots. Their fullback comes back then out to Alchin. Are they building towards their fourth try? Gallen out the back again. This is where they're dangerous. Simon back to Cantor. Put down and cleaned up by Hoggets. It's the last tackle now. Look for the kick towards the end goal area. There it goes. Can they get back into the field of play? Yes, they can. Great effort by the Seagulls. There's no dummy half. We'll have a replay at that. That was touch and go. But what is the ruling?
Okay, so I think it was Andy Sumner was at marker.
Yep.
I think are we going to have a replay?
So Sumner was at marker, and the question, I guess, is whether there is a play, whether there's a dummy half or not, because certainly the dummy half wasn't looking, but that, I guess, doesn't mean that he wasn't the dummy half.
Well, the ruling, obviously Tommy Aylett has ruled that there is a dummy half in vicinity.
Yeah.
Therefore, regardless of whether the ball has cleared the ruck or not, the marker cannot dive in there.
There's another knock on here on the live shot as we just have a look at this. There's another knock on from Lakes bringing it out of their own half. So let's have a look here. So he plays the ball. Sumner, it's Scott Briggs, in fact, who's up.
So it's... Oh, it is
There's
Briggs.
to play the ball.
So
so you're saying that's a dummy half?
Yeah, we have someone in the vicinity.
Oh. Well, he's got the ball down.
And the only way we can have Scott Briggs retrieving the ball is if he runs around and picks it up.
Okay.
Because otherwise we would have Scott Briggs diving in and the possibility of him diving into someone's knees and just destroying someone's knees.
Okay. Tom Taylor there clearing up the rule book.
We saw a couple of years ago Royce Jeffries run around and pick up the ball from marker. That was the difference.
Okay, so another chance building now. That had the intention of a high lift.
That's sort of the rule now, isn't it? I mean, if
we've got another time off.
Any sort of lifting and twisting like that, they're asking for a penalty. But the Lakes are... this is absolute kamikaze stuff from them. I mean, they've dropped the ball 3 or 4 times coming out of their own half. They're giving away penalties like hotcakes. They're just not... they're just doing everything wrong. That's as simple as it is. They're doing everything you'd want to do if you wanted to lose.
The hotcakes are melting.
Yeah, well...
They're playing
disintegrating.
Frustrated footy. That's that's all I can say. As you can see on Brad Murray's facial expression, it's frustrating.
We're midway through the first half here on Saturday afternoon football. That's Alchin running straight into Casey Burgess. They want a quick play the football. Hyde giving it away to Subner. Cuts out Gallen. Finds Briggs. Briggs still going. Lost the football as he was getting up to play the ball there, and I think Tommy's got that spot on as we go down to the touchline thanks to Benedict Waste Recycling. Tom Taylor.
Yeah, I think he's got it spot on as well. He has a responsibility to play the ball, and if he wants to hold it like that and that's all it takes for the ball to come loose, then we're not going to give you the ball back for a penalty.
They might live to regret this, Macquarie. After going 14-0 down, Lakes have given them 2 or 3 chances here, and they haven't taken them. They should be out of sight by now. I mean, it should be 20-0 or more. If they kick their goals, it could be even more than that. If this is close late on, they might look back at this last 5 or 10 minutes and think that was the moment we had to kill the game off.
So Harton here, trying to get past his own 20-metre line. They're slipping over just outside 20. The defence, it's hard, it's strong, and it's brutal. Adam Grew in the tackle. Of course, Adam Grew picked up a try when they last met back in round 13 at Carl Oval. And Macquarie got up by 2. So they'll need a good kick here off the boot of Murray. It's probably the best kick they've put in all day long. Simon just handing it back.
No dummy that time, Pete.
No, he wanted to not be the offloader and the culprit. If anything went wrong there, Tom, as Pywell plays it back. Charging their way forward now, that's Hay.
What a great run from a winger, just tearing in there, helping out his forwards. Tremendous.
Back to Hyde. Now to Cantor. Cantor beats one. Trying to break free of Matt Craig. So Hyde again. Dummies one way, goes the left, picks up Subner. Great ball to Hay.
Good tackle, Jack Kelly.
Captain Sumner again. Charging their way close again to Gallen. Looking for 2.
He's got it down, Pete. He's
Has
got it
he
down.
got it down? Aylett says a try.
Wow. Blake Gallen's got a double.
Well, I don't know.
The crowd silent because they thought he wasn't over, but Gallen knew he got it down. Let's have a look at that on the replay.
I don't know what's rarer than Haley's Comet, but we're there. It's happening. I'd be going, anyone watching this broadcast today, I'd be going down to your local paper shop. I don't know if they're still open at 4 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon, but I'd be getting onto the lottery tickets today. Blake Gallen, the Macquarie lock forward with a double. Dear, oh dear.
Have a look at this. Let's glue our attention to where the ball is in the vicinity of the goal line. He's just reached out and plonked it right on the chalk. How good is that?
I didn't think you were going to be able to see that on the camera, but he did.
That's a great effort from Blake Gallen, but you've got to ask the question of the Lakes defenders. I mean, they had him. They dealt with the contact. They're just in the wrestle. You've got to wonder why there weren't more people in the tackle to stop that happening, or why the ones that were in there weren't able to keep him up. I mean, the coach must be furious to get to the contact, have him held up, and then have him find his way to the line. Must be terribly disappointing for the Lakes defence.
Do you think, Morgan, if that scoreboard had read 0-all, do you think they would have stopped him?
Oh, I don't know, but I think they're just having one of those days at the moment.
I think being the scoreboard what it was at 14-0, I think just mentally they just might have been a bit down on themselves.
Yeah, possibly. It just went on longer than it needed to, that tackle. It was very late that he got the ball down.
So 13 minutes out from half-time here. And I haven't seen probably a match this year on Bar TV Sports where one side has dominated so much possession inside the opposition's half. But we've seen it here today, and that is reflective of the scoreboard. Favaeli. This one looks good. He's bringing it back around. The crowd goes wild. Macquarie leading by 20-0. Let's go touchline. Tommy Taylor.
I predicted a draw. I feel a bit silly now.
Well, I mean, when you predict a draw in every game, this is going to happen eventually, isn't it? I mean,
the odds of probability.
This fence is getting a little bit uncomfy at the moment.
That's exactly right. Serves you right, I say. Well, I was just about to say that Macquarie had given up their chances, but they've gone and made another one. This is a real ambush so far. 20-0 inside 28 minutes. Lakes need the sheds here, and they need a rev up from the coach. They look nothing like the side that won the premiership last year, just at the moment.
And boy, will that be a rev up.
Ty, no, don't talk. Take it back and play the ball. That's last time you're told. Go.
Well, the next 50 minutes, I'm pretty sure will tell both sides of the story for both of these sides. Betteridge will be wondering and looking very intently at how Macquarie can go on with it and not go backwards. And it will also tell Noonan how his side is able to get out of trouble heading into the final. So that story alone is pivotal over the next half hour as we see now Hyde kicking it downfield. Out there is Avaka, picks it up on his own 30-metre line. But there's the troops there, Tom. Not in ones, not in twos, but 3 and 4s.
That's right.
And that's the telling factor.
I'll just point out something, Pete. This is the same score that read round 14 when Macquarie played Maitland. Next thing we knew, Maitland were in front 24-20. So anything can happen here.
And that's the closeness of the competition for sure. As we mentioned at the top of the program, you know, we've seen margins like this, and you think they're home and sailed, and then all of a sudden, you know, they lack that intensity in the second half, the winning side, leading into the break, and the wheels fall off them. But Betteridge, you know, we've been out here this week. He has got this side, in his words, where he wants them to be. So he'd be nothing more than prouder if his side can go on with it here. As we see an injury back here to a bit of one of the Scorpions. You're on the touchline, Tom. Are you able to see? Is that Schmiedel?
Yeah, it's Schmiedel's down, and he's got a big gash above his left eye. So that's getting strapped now by the Macquarie trainers. And, that was free-flowing there like a tap.
So we've stopped the clock here at Lyle Peacock Field. What do we got? We've got just over 11 minutes remaining here in the first half. It's an annihilation. It's game 15 of the competition, as we see now. Schmidl, he featured throughout the week on our Newcastle Rugby League preview show, and we thank Schmidl and his family.
Nice plug, Peter.
Thank you, Morgan. Just to give you a scoop, Morgan.
Oh, yes.
Just to get you in the groove.
In the loop, yeah.
In the loop. Grand final day.
Yes.
You'll be out of the comfort of the commentary box.
What do you mean? Well, I don't understand.
You'll be on the other side out in the open, looking back to the crowd this year.
Oh,
you looking
really?
forward to that?
Well, where are we going to be calling the game?
From the disabled spot.
What, are we going to be on a card
appropriately
table?
Yeah. We're winding the clock back. It's going to what we call retro bar TV.
So
round.
on that side of the ground,
Looking into the sun.
No, on that side of the ground, there'll just be us.
Just us. Oh, well, we'll have the cameraman.
Yeah, I suppose.
You can bring your girlfriend along if that...
Oh, I think that's very unlikely.
Am I invited?
Well, you can, yes. It's an open invitation. Gulmere. Well, this is their chance.
Finally got some field position here, Pete.
10 minutes to go in the match in the first half. There's the kick in towards in goal. Simon and Hay. Hay collects it. Can they get back? They can. Well done there to the winger. Made it look simple. But yeah, grand final day, of course. Mark it down. It's the 18th of September. Hunter Stadium, 3 o'clock kickoff. Bar TV will be there. All grades will be covered from 10:30 in the morning all the way through. We'll get back to you with broadcast times if it's going to be live or on delayed stream. We'll find that out hopefully throughout the week as we see now Schmidl back out to his 20-metre line. Where's it going to go now? It's going to come off the boot of Briggs. He's going to pump it downfield. There's Gulmere. He's running away from his supporting Varka. Didn't need support, did he there? Tommen runs into the shoulder of Avali Udu.
Yeah, I think he was preparing for a big collision there because he sort of turned his body at the last minute just to maybe protect himself.
Pretty quiet here.
It was actually not the strongest set bringing out of their own line from Macquarie that time. They only managed to get to the 30 metres on the last tackle. So maybe, I'm sure Lakes are thinking this could be a turning point in the game. As we see a penalty.
Well, this will help
Just
them.
talking about a turning point in the game, an offside penalty. Macquarie not getting back to 10 metres.
Yeah, going away there of Josh Charles. So Bradley Murray, the leading point scorer for the defending premiers. 42 goals he's banged home this year for them. Picked up 3 tries. Will he be the go-to man to get them back into the match? Somebody has to listen to one-on-one strip. To the run-on-one strip, and they've just handed it back over so easy.
Of course it was Josh Schmidl. He's one of them every game.
It's a surprise play, isn't it, the one-on-one still? It's a bit of a risky one because you're a chance of falling off the tackle, but when it works, it can change the momentum of a game.
I can tell you what happens when it works, Morgan. Now everyone's going to want to try it.
Here it is on the replay here. That was just Schmidl just...
Very late. Brad Murray didn't seem too happy about it.
That is Noble. That's Hyde. Subner, the kicking. Game sensational today. Just like this, pivotal kicks. Driving it deep. The defence allowing it to come through. From Briggs and also in Cantor. So now Matt Craig coming off his own in-goal area. A little bit of a roar from the crowd. The crowd thought it might have went a touch high. That's Ikanofo. Giving it away to Charles. Eyeing off an NRL contract or possibly going overseas in the future. That's where he wants to go. That's where his career probably is leading him.
You'd have to think he's a good chance, Peter. He's a real... they just can't put him away. He's one of those players, he gets the ball, he busts tackles every time he runs it. It's Tom and I were discussing Supercoach earlier, and I can't help but feel Josh Charles, if there was a real NRL Supercoach, would be a real prospect. Well, he'd be one you'd have in every team.
This will be an interesting call here. He's got a knock-on first from Lakes. So we'll have a change over here. It was the last tackle.
Well, it was Bradley Murray there. He was in two minds. He wasn't quite sure what to do with the football even before he got it in his possession. And when you know that Bradley Murray's doing things like that, which is uncharacteristic, you know that you're not going so well in a game of Newcastle Rugby League. And it's a little bit scrappy. It's not the Lakes that we've come to love and know, especially over the last few seasons. This is danger. this. Can they rise to the occasion? Briggs can rise to the occasion. He makes it again. Looks so simple.
Well, that was tissue paper defence again, dear oh dear. Randall Briggs there, I mean, it was a good run and a good pass. He hit the line well, but there wasn't a great deal on there. I haven't seen Lakes concede too many tries like that over the last couple of years. That was very ordinary. I get the feeling today what we're really seeing is Macquarie playing as well as they can possibly play, and Lakes playing as poorly as they can possibly play. And that might go some way to explaining why it's 24-0 between two teams who we thought were fairly evenly matched.
Well, this is just defence that needs to be made. And look at that. Gallen again. I'd love to know how many times he's been in the lead up to a try if he hasn't scored two of his own.
I would say all but one of them,
yeah.
Peter. I mean, he threw the pass out the back that started the move for the first Randall Briggs try. Or that might have been the Cantor try. He scored two of them himself, and he threw the pass there. So they've scored 5, and he's either scored or been in the lead up to 4 of them.
Going back to Supercoach, Morgan. Imagine having Gallen in your team today.
He'd be on 200 already, going in half time.
Captain.
You just
400.
go home if you got him in your opposition.
So 24 points to 0. In 6 minutes' time, we'll have half time, and stay with us. We've got highlights coming up of the grand final last year when Lakes took home the premiership. That's coming up in 6 minutes' time. But it is one-way traffic here on the lake. Macquarie, as Morgan mentioned, could they give us a more perfect, if you can put it that way, 40 minutes of rugby league here this afternoon? What we're seeing from them, they can go on with it. Very deserving minor premiers if they can be on the scoreboard in the front after 80 minutes. Here's the kick. Looks good. Bringing it back around. He's making the hard kicks now look easy. Favielli, and that's his 47th goal in 2016, and his total tally to 114. What a season he is having, the man on the screen right now. Very quietly spoken chap, but just gets in the grind, gets in and does the hard work. And as Adam Bettridge said, he's always, in the top 5 coming to training. He wants to be here. He wants to play for the club. And importantly, he wants to play along with his other 16 charges out there and on the bench for the coach in Adam Bettridge. So there's the kickoff downfield. It's a good one. And Brings rolls it back up over the 10-metre line towards the 20. Quick play the ball. They worked on this at training, hitting the man and getting that quick play the ball away. And so far, training has paid effective for them in this match. That's Hyde giving it away, rolling it towards the 40-metre line now. Coming away from the southern end here. Saturday afternoon football. You're with Peter Jolly, Tom Taylor, and Morgan Campbell on a glorious afternoon. A delicious rugby league menu we have here this afternoon. Just like that tackle there from Hoggets on the chest of Adam Grew. Got up a bit gingerly there, Grew. There's the kick downfield, angling it towards touch, and they find it. Gulmere says, I'm not even going to bother touching that.
Smart player, Andrew Sumner there. He's down the short side. 3 minutes to go until half time. 26 blot. Just rolls it into touch. Doesn't give anyone a hope of getting it. And you can see Chris Hyde there just running back. I mean, it's not often you see players celebrate a kick that just rolls into touch, but they were up. They knew that was the right play, and they were pretty pleased with themselves, and well, they might be. I think both sides would take half time at this point.
Lakes more than Macquarie at the moment.
Well, there's Adam Grew there. He got up limping from that tackle only a few moments ago, but he's going to stay out there for the remaining 3 minutes of the first half as we see now James Varkar to the 20-metre line.
I noticed Barry Moore's down here again. He's smiling like a split watermelon. He deserves a lot of credit for what Macquarie have done this year. He built them up last year. He got them going, got them into the grand final, and created a real momentum around the club. And Adam Bettridge has certainly taken that on, and he's taken it further. But Barry Moore started it, and he's entitled to be pretty pleased with himself about all this.
Barry should be pretty pleased with what he's doing at West Wallsend as well in the lower Honeycomb.
Oh, yeah.
I believe they're coming second on the ladder going into the semi-finals next week. So very good. They've had a very good season in B grade.
Yeah, you're quite right there, Morgan. But, credit to the the current crop as well. I mean, Adam came here. He got the foundations, of course, laid by Barry. And they were, you know, good foundations to build the house upon. And Adam's just tweaked the interior and put a few new curtains up and, you know.
Renovations.
He's done the reno. He's brought his own carpenters into the club, so to speak. And
literally, Pete, because there's a new floor in the referee's room.
Really?
Literally, this year there is a new floor in the referee's room.
They got rid of that false floor, did they?
Yeah, the trap door's gone.
Oh, good stuff. But yeah, you know, he pretty much cleaned the place out. He's brought a lot of players and he's brought a lot of trainers that he's put his own, you know, heart and soul in as far as trust goes to build this platform. And, you know, it's obviously something that he's worked hard for. He's a coach that really loves to go around and see what other competition clubs are doing. He was at South the other day and he backed it up 24 hours with a visit to West. So it's not just about his own club. He wants to get around as many clubs as he can, Adam, and that's the testament of the bloke as well. So only good things for him. As we see now, a great bust. Here they go. Support left and right.
Briggs.
Here's another try. Randall Briggs. He's in again. It's now 30-0 with 30 seconds to go before the siren at half-time.
Well, we were talking about Andrew Sumner playing for half-time. He didn't need half-time there. Threw the big dummy and just sliced them open. And that's been typical of what we've seen today. Everything Macquarie have done, they've ended up in space. And so it was again. But they, you know, had the intensity. I mean, they're 26-0 in front. And yet they had a queue of players backing up to take that pass. And Randall Briggs was at the front of the queue and gets another try. He's having a lovely afternoon, and so are the rest of his teammates. 30-0, kick to come. They're giving them an absolute bath here. And this is, I got to tell you, I did tip Macquarie to win, but I wasn't expecting this. But look at this. See, they've got one on the right. They had Briggs, they had Cantor, and they had Hay, all backing up, all making that extra effort and making themselves available.
Lakes are just, Macquarie are just punching holes in the right side of Lakes' defence. Just, we know that because we're going to see the back of Thiessen, Thiessen. We're going to see the back of T's shirt as he kicks the goal again. So they're just, their last 4 tries have just been down that channel.
5 out of 6, I think you'll find, Tom. I think they've scored 6 tries. 5 of them have been on this side.
Yeah, the first one I think was the only one on the far side.
Well, Chris Adams is just in the players' tunnel, along with Jay Sullivan down there for Lakes United. So we come back there now to Vivalielli. This will make him 116 personal points if he can put this over on the stroke of half-time. Confidence is everything, and confidence is growing with every goal kick. So that's half-time here. Who would have thought the score at half-time would have shown what it is on the Benedict Waste Recycling scoreboard? You're not seeing things, ladies and gentlemen. Macquarie get a rousing reception. They love it here on Old Boys Day. Macquarie leading by 32-0.
Well, I said it a few minutes ago. Macquarie are playing about as well as they can possibly play, and Lakes are playing about as poorly as they can possibly play. And that's pretty much the story of the game. Macquarie have come out here, big occasion, big day, playing last year's premiers close to the semis, and they've lifted. They've absolutely belted them from the start, and they never let the foot up. Lakes, well, they've just been shooting themselves in the foot all afternoon, knocking the ball on, giving away penalties, some weak defence close to the line. You would think that Macquarie couldn't possibly improve in the second half, and you would think that Lakes couldn't possibly get any worse. So maybe it'll be a bit more even in the second stanza.
Okay, well, that is half-time. It's 32-0. It's all in front of Lakes United. Let's wind the clock back to Grand Final Day 2015 and watch how Lakes got up in the GF. Who is there to meet them? Of course, that was Diallo. Comes back then out to Ikanofo. He takes it forward. Morgan Campbell in the commentary box. Good afternoon to you.
Afternoon, Peter. What about the atmosphere here as Macquarie Lakes are away straight away?
Yeah, this is Josh Charles. He comes down to Manson. He got the pass away. This could be the quickest Newcastle Rugby League Grand Final try in history. James Farker. What a try from one end of the field to the other. inside the first set of 6. 4-0 with a kick to come. That was quick. That was a blizzard. The quickest grand final tries that we've seen in the Newcastle Rugby League.
Oh!
Oh, the phone ball.
Look out.
Here they go now, Macquarie. It's their turn to go on the attack. And that was Schmidl. Back then out of Jeffrey. He takes it hard and straight into Josh Hayes. Well, the pendulum is about to swing back into Macquarie's favour. They're attacking. This is Manson. Back to Sumner. Back to Jeffrey. Held up in the tackle there by Chris Adams. 3 minutes gone. What a start. Now it comes back to Matt Jeffrey.
I think there was an obstruction there, Peter. It was Blake Gallen and Matt Jeffrey, the two bald heads running at the line together.
Back to Sumner, ricocheted, could be play on. Dialu's got the ball, out the back to Jeffrey. He's still going. It's the last tackle. Can he reach over the line? He can, but he's held up. Empty-handed here. Back to Gallen. He's close. He's going to score. You could see that coming from a mile away. You could see that coming from Toronto. And the captain, an inspirational charge. He has scored the first try for Macquarie. It's 4-all, kick to come.
Well, the big charge. He did it last week, Blake Gallen. In a big moment against Western Suburbs, they chucked him the ball close to the line and he had a snipe and got the ball down. And it's the same story again today. What a good charge.
Well, Josh Schmidl, the 2005 Rep Player of the Year. What a tackle. 14 minutes gone in the grand final. Adams, it comes a back away now. They're spinning, they're weaving. Maori, the highest point scorer, is on his back. Plays it back to the captain. Dangerous, offloads the pass. This is Burgess. They're getting closer, aren't they? Last tackle, look for the kick. There it goes. Can they trap it in goal? It's come off the seagull and gone over the dead ball line. Diffused well at the back. We're going to have a 20-metre tap, Josh Leeson. Last week's match winner to allow the Scorpions to try to reach the grand final. What a ball! They're away. Talking of Isaac Briggs, he's got the pass away. And they're dropped down. He'll play the ball, Manson. Are they rattled here, Lakes? Back to Sumner. He got the ball back to Briggs. He charges and he's dropped down. He got it back to Manson. He'll reach out. A metre away.
And you saw it there. He ran to the line, attracted a couple of defenders and got it away and busted them open with the pass to Randall Briggs.
Oh, what a tackle. What a grand final shot on James Barker. Welcome to Hunter Stadium, he says. They exploit the right-hand side. Here's the kick in towards the end goal area. Mackin's got to try and play at it. He does. He had no other option but to kick it over the dead ball line. We're going to have a goal line dropout here. 20 minutes gone in the grand final. In the Newcastle Rugby League grand final. Here's the kick. There's the chasers. Isaac Briggs has been awarded a try from John Taylor. Well, it's the common denominator in rugby league. Follow through from your kicker. He's done that and he's been awarded.
Well, Andrew Sumner, he's a classy player. He's a very important player for this Macquarie team. And he put the angled kick through there. It's obviously a set move, as we see here on the replay. Mitch Manson was pretty much buried on the left-hand side of the field, and they've swept it to the right. And the kick, he's timed it perfectly to put it right on the chest of Isaac Briggs. These Briggses, geez, they can sniff out a try.
Back there now to Barker. Away this time now to Murray. Great ball out the back. They're keeping it alive. Where's Ikanofo? Ikanofo's going to go up, but I think you'll find it's come off. 4 metres out from the Lakes line. Where's it going to come now? Back to Manson. He's going to kick it in the goal area. Barker, he had to play at it. Matt Hay had a chance, but it's gone over the dead ball line. Back out to the 20, Josh Leeson. Sullivan kicking. Ball will go into the end goal area. Manson, he's got to get back into the field of play.
Yeah, it was a good burst of pace there from Mitch Manson, but couldn't quite do it.
Adams, they go short. Here's a try coming up underneath the left-hand side. No try. Well, I thought Brad Murray was in for all money.
But the referee, as we go down to the touchline, Ben Homer, he disagrees.
Yeah, obstruction. It looked all too easy there for Brad Murray. He went straight through out wide, and it was too easy, way too easy, and illegally too easy, deemed by John Taylor, an obstruction. I couldn't really see from down here, but I don't know what it looked up. I'll have a look at the replay here on the big screen.
Oh, jeez.
There's not much in that.
It seemed like a one-out run.
Back it comes down to Edwards. Throwing the dummy. Back to Jeffrey. He's away. He's away. He might have lost it. He tried to get the ball
He's given a knock
over
on
the line.
We'll
go to the replay, but he's just somehow, the ball's come out of his possession. He was trying to slam it down, I think. Switching it back to Sumner. He's through. He's away. He comes down to Mackin. 8 metres out. Who wants it now? Isaac! Player of the year for nothing.
Well, Josh Schmiedel's one thing. What about the flick pass? I know we're playing at Hunter Stadium. That was Matt Gidley-esque, that one.
Trapped there by Moran. Adams, quick go forward. This is where they're dangerous. Mackin! He flicks it out the back. Dived on by Gallen. He's got the ball for Macquarie. Here's the kick. Not the best kick you'll see in the grand final. It might prove out to be one of the best. They've got the ball. Scorpions crowd. Murray, he says, let's play it up the other end. He finds Manson at the back. He goes himself. He's through. He's away. He comes down to Mackin. Great try, saving tackle.
The seventh changer at 27 to go. I was thinking the whole first half.
Here they go, Ben. We'll come back to you. This is Sullivan. He's been smashed. They need to lift. Is it the centre six?
Alrighty, well, we're back for the second half here on Saturday afternoon football, counting down to the final series of 2016 in the Newcastle Rugby League. If you've just tuned onto the coverage, 32 points to nil. Gallen has been in sensational form for the Scorps. He's bagged 2 tries. He's going for his hat-trick. There'll be no stopping Gallen in the second half if the momentum continues to go their way. I'll ask Tom, I mean, mate, you've probably been denied access to the Lakes dressing sheds at half-time. But Dean Noonan, what do you think he would have been saying to his troops?
Oh.
He would have been tearing the shed down,
it would have been.
he?
It would have been loud. There would have been vibrations on the walls, and hopefully his players will be fired up for the second half because they're going to need to be.
Morgan, what do you think Adam said to his troops at half-time?
Well, he's arguably got the tougher task. I mean, it's easy for Dean Noonan to say that this isn't good enough, and you need to lift. I mean, that's the players already know that, right? I'm sure they're not under any illusions that they're playing well. But for Adam Bettridge, it's hard because, 32-0 up, the players have got to cool down at half-time, then go back out there and try and keep the energy up. I mean, they don't want to let a heap of points in, let Lakes back into the game, and even if they go on and win, it's a psychological thing. Lakes will feel like they finished the game stronger and they've got the better of them. So, I don't know, Adam Bettridge has had a tough task at half-time. I would hope, he said, the job's not done and you need to keep that energy up and really put them to the sword. It'll be a good indication of where Macquarie are mentally, because if they go on with this and win 50-0, well, you'll know they're fair dinkum this season.
I hope they try a bit of ad-lib stuff, bit of flick passes, bit of flair, just to get things interesting. Don't think they will, but I wouldn't mind seeing a bit of that.
So it's been a dominant effort, 32 points to nil, and we're only a fortnight away from the final series. A win today for Macquarie will secure their first ever minor premiership in the club's history. There's the ball out the back door, dived on by Randall Briggs. Referee Tommy Aylett is going to call it back here, and Marcel will have the opportunity to play it back here. Tommy, 10 metres out from the eastern touchline.
Yeah, mate, it was just the last tackle there. Randall Briggs going for the over-the-top pass, ended up passing it to himself, but then was tackled. So, last tackle, handover. In not bad field position for Lakes United. It was on the 30, but as we can see, tackle 1 is on the 30.5.
Well, Callan Adams is on the field for Lakes United. That's Josh Charles. Trying to get the pass away.
Good
He
one.
does. Barker, he's down the touchline. He's got Simon in pursuit. He's trying to beat Simon, but Simon comes back and bundles him into the ground along with Gallen. Back to Gulmere. Gallen again. This time he's given away a penalty, Tom, right in front of you.
Yeah, I think that might have been intentionally, that penalty. I think Gallen knew he was giving away a penalty, but he allowed his troops to get back on side and reset themselves.
Okay, they take the tap and get on with it. I've got to say, it's probably only been 3 or 4 times that they've had this opportunity in 42 minutes of rugby league here at Lyle Peacock Field. Back to Sams. He runs straight into Noble. Back to D-Sax. Works the right. Away now. It comes back to Ikanofo. Marcel. That's his 4th touch of the football in this match. D-Sax. Back to Burgess. Steps. Weaves. Runs straight into Gallen. Along with Simon. 32 points to 0. Saturday afternoon football. Murray. He goes short. Harton. Lost it.
No.
Right on the goal line.
No, I think we might have a forward pass call from the close touch judge, Greg Ryan.
Well, that's a good sign for Macquarie, isn't it? I mean, they Lakes threw a bit at them there, and they kept turning up and making the tackles. That was well worked, but it all came about because of a great piece of class there from Josh Charles. I mean, he scarcely had the ball in this game. He hasn't had the opportunity to do much of anything, and he gets it basically one out, finds a step, wins the contact, and then gets a ball away. That's the class of the guy, and I reckon he's pretty much now the best centre or winger in the game, and in this area, and he showed why there.
Be interesting to see if we picked a team of the year at the presentation night. We do have the player of the year, but like the NRL, it'd be good to see if we could pick a team of the year, because I think Josh Charles might be included in that.
And Chris Hyde. He'll look like he'll have a good chance to be in that side as well. So it'll be interesting to see what happens over the next few weeks as far as Chris Adams goes and his future with the Newcastle Knights. Will they offer him a contract for 2017? We hope that is the case for Chris. But on the opposite side of the coin, if they don't offer him a contract, will he feature in the final series? That will be unfolding in the weeks ahead. And I'll tell you what, they'll need him.
You'd like to think he'd get more of an opportunity than 4 games. I mean, he's only played, I think, he played against Melbourne a few weeks ago, and then he might have played against Cronulla and Manly, and then he's got the game tomorrow against Penrith. I mean, and against Canterbury last week. You'd like to think if they're going to bring the guy over and drag him out of the Newcastle Rugby League, that at least give him 6 or 8 weeks to establish, to get settled in the team and make a contribution.
Pete, that was just a high tackle penalty. If we missed that,
thanks, Tom. Tom Aylett. Officiating. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what the story is, the background story, but, I guess you've got to take that opportunity and see where it goes. But we know for one thing that Chris didn't want to go over there and leave the Lakeside, where they are, I guess, by just playing New South Wales Cup. So there must have been some talk between him and, manager and Nathan Brown that he would be given the opportunity at first grade. And he's played off the bench, but it'd be just interesting to see how the Knights go about it in the next few weeks and make that decision. And it'd be good to get some constructive feedback from the Knights, just to see which way they're leaning.
Well, Lake's turning it over again here. Giving Macquarie the ball back again. It's just been that sort of day for them so far, and they've got 33 minutes of it to go. Peter, you know that I love nothing more than navel-gazing about the table. Let's have a look. If it stays like this, or something like this, and Lakes lose today, they would be stuck on 18 points. And they've got a trip to Harker Oval next week. Now, Curry are in 5th place. They're on 15 points. Now, that odd point becomes very important, because if Curry win today against Central, and I think they'd be favourites.
Well, they're leading 29-12 at half-time.
Are they now? Well, there you go. If that's the case, they'd be 1 point behind Lakes. Now, if Lakes go to Harker Oval next week and lose, and Curry go to Cessnock next week and win, Lakes would be in 5th. So the defending premiers would end up in 5th place on the ladder, as now Macquarie have turned it over. We could see a bit of this in the second half if the intensity drops. We could see the possibility of Curry hosting Lakes in an elimination game, first week of the semis, having been undefeated against Lakes all season.
Yeah, you're
so I know there's a few things that have to happen before we get to that point, but at this stage, that remains a real possibility.
Would never have thought that at the first half of the year.
6 weeks ago, it was inconceivable.
Well, it's half-time in the South-Maitland match, and South are just ahead by 18 points to 16.
Yeah, a bit of a banana peel, that game for South, having to go up to Maitland.
Coronation as well.
Yeah, Maitland, don't have anything to worry about. I mean, they can chuck the ball around and throw a few things at them. That's a danger game for South.
So Lakes here with the chance. Speaking up to his surname, that is Chance Burgess here. Back to D. Sachs, looking to come to the right-hand side. They're just running around, looking a little bit unorganised here, Lakes. 32 points to nil. Murray. Chance Burgess.
He had a
just
chance.
spills out. He did, but he doesn't take it.
No.
But see that, I mean, the defence there from Macquarie, they're up and in very fast. I mean, the first tackle we saw there was Kelly, who, as you mentioned in the call, Peter, I mean, he got the ball and there was nowhere to go. They sort of had him encircled and he just sort of ran back in the middle and got tackled. And then they tried the training ground move. But the Macquarie defenders, you see here, they're on them so quickly that Chance Burgess has got to catch that and go through the line all at once, and they're up in his face. So it makes it very hard to put your skills in play under that sort of pressure.
Morgan, let's analyse Lakes.
Sure.
We don't really need to analyse today's performance. You know, they're down by a massive total. They've lost their last... What is it? What's the stats? Let's just go back through the draw. They've lost 2 of their last 5. This will be now 3 of their last 6. Whilst there's life, there's hope, but we come back to that Adams factor. You know, it all went a little bit pear-shaped when he left.
They've lost 2 of their last 3. That's the thing, Peter. They lost at Curry when, in sort of bizarre circumstances, they made some terrible bungles and things like that and sort of managed to get themselves defeated. Then they lost to Macquarie in a very close game. They came home hard and just didn't quite get there. And then they managed to beat Central a fortnight ago. And you're right, it corresponds with Adams not being there. I mean, he's a big factor in their team. The thing about Adams is that when the forwards are really rolling, he's the one who turns that roll into an absolute avalanche because he starts running out of dummy half, getting the middle players going backwards. Without him there to do that, and no disrespect to James de Sachs, but Adams is an expert at it.
Yeah.
And without him there to do it, when they do get the forwards going, it's not coming to anything for them. They don't have that relentless momentum that they have when Chris Adams is there. So if he comes back, I mean, it could make all the difference. They could be as you were, and they're a premiership threat again.
Just don't hope that he comes back on the elimination game because it might take a game just to get Lakes settled back into playing the way Chris Adams plays. Schmiedel going for another strip then.
Well, it's coming apart a little bit at the moment, isn't it? We haven't seen a complete set for a while.
Oh, we called a knock on Lakes. Must have been a bit of a loose carry.
So inside the last half hour of this match, still 32 points to nil. That was our halftime score. Just ticking up to the 11th minute of the second 40. There's Gallen. 2 tries in the first 15 minutes of the match. Hyde is just being told to come back here from the referee. And Tom Aylett. As we see Scotty Briggs there. Eyeing off. Grand final day. They were there last year. They went down to the side. But they're playing today. We saw the halftime highlights of how that match unfolded.
Good run.
Macquarie storming their way forward.
He's evasive, Nathan Cantor, isn't he? He's another one who seems to slither through tackles.
It's a slippery snake, isn't he? That's swaddling to the 30-metre line. The Avalanche are points.
Forward pass.
Just comes to a A little slight halt there. So as you said, the first 10 minutes of the second half, a little bit slow. The intensity definitely not there. But as we said in the first half, this will tell a lot about Lakes. This will tell a lot about the characteristics of Macquarie. Next week, of course, Souths will play Macquarie and Lakes will take on Western Suburbs.
It's hard to pick the match of the round next week.
Even the
not if Cessnock win tomorrow, it won't be. Cessnock versus Curry up at Cessnock. If Cessnock win tomorrow at Wests, that becomes basically the semi-finals come early. I mean, Cessnock and Curry would be playing off the 5th spot, or potentially 4th spot if Lakes lose. So dear oh dear, that would be that'd be a big one up at Cessnock.
Western Suburbs. Are they about to hit their straps? They've got a good side tomorrow. You know, they've got the likes of the Ties. They've just got to click. We'll read a lot about them in coming weeks, no doubt, along with this side that just sees the ball go into touch in Macquarie Scorpions.
That's unusual. I wasn't expecting Brad Murray to just kick the ball out being down by 32 points. I thought they would have tried it maybe a bomb or something with a little bit more attacking flair to it.
It's a fair point, Tom. I mean, it does seem an odd kick when you need a point a minute to start just rolling it into touch and playing the possession game. I mean, this is what they usually do, Lakes, I must say. When they're sort of 10 or 12 or 14 behind and they do that. They just play like they would ordinarily and they wait for the points to come, and often they do. But you can't quite do that at 32-0.
Reynold Briggs coming off the interchange bench. It's been a bright spark, just like this man.
There's that human shield again, Pete.
There he is, rookie, down the bottom 3, but a tremendous effort to get to the last remaining 3. Only a few weeks ago.
You've got to feel for Brock Harmon here, don't you? I mean, he was benched for Randall Briggs, and Randall Briggs has been able to run a couple of tries in down that side. I mean, they could have been his.
Well, this is Goulmere. Straight into the shoulder of Captain Sumner. Back to Craig. Going across field. Trying to beat Scott Briggs. But Shamidal wraps him up. Hammers him. 4 nails into the lush turf here. Comes back away to D-Sacks. Where's Murray? That was him getting away to Charles. He's got footwork. He's got speed. He's got agility. He's always got that approach to try and break free of many tacklers as he can. That could bring a penalty, and it does.
Thiessen RV, I'm not going to even try that. He's just put his arm out and tripped over Brad Murray, who just tried to take a little dart from dummy half there. I don't know how far he actually moved his arm. He might have only moved it a few inches, but Brad Murray, Hollywood or not, has managed to, unfortunately, trip over and get his team a penalty.
So D-Sacks now looking around, trying to identify his troops. And the first man he was able to identify is Casey Burgess. Another penalty coming up here, 10 metres out. Ayla just saying, keep the tackle down there. Comes back to Burgess. Gallen's got him. Man of the match, without a doubt, so far for Gallen. Looking for first point of the match. Harton. Wrapped up there by Pywell. That's Murray again. Looking around. Throws it out the back. It's their hooker in James D-Sacks. Wrestled down there by Isaac Briggs. Chance Burgess this time in a dummy half. Finding Kelly. He's been minced there and slaughtered. 2 metres out. Back there now to Adams. That's Callan. Looking around, popping it. Penalty again. Going to the opposition right in front of the post.
Ball was stripped out of the tackle.
Now, Tom, if this was a close game and it was the last 10 minutes, if you had 3 penalties in a row, you would, in that area of the field, you start thinking it's sin bin, right?
Yeah, it had crossed my mind, and I'd probably time out, have a chat with the captain.
So does the context of the game, the fact that it's 30-0 or 32-0, does that mean you're less likely to do it?
As much as I'd like to say that the context doesn't have anything to do with it, unfortunately it does, So I think Yeah, obviously Tommy knows that it's 32-0, but that's a tough one.
Well, he's also eyeing off a top spot in the final series, so I guess you've got to be consistent. Harden dropped down 2 metres away. Gulmere.
Oh, no.
No try.
Oh, he's
well,
thrilled that he's lost the ball
lost
in the tackle.
it in the tackle. You're quite right there, Tom. Down the touchline for Benedict Waste Recycling.
But going back to what you were talking about, Morgan, I'd say if the penalties were all for the same thing, then yes.
Well, you've got to, don't you? I mean, you can't. Yeah, that's what that's the point.
But what
I'm
is the
trying to make.
the psychological brain of a referee 2 weeks out from a final series? I mean,
dangerous territory here. The psychological brain of a referee. Yeah. Where to begin?
I mean,
you'd have to go back to.
Obviously, this is the lead on the replay. Let's just stick with that before we divert into the
world of Jürgen Freud.
Yes. Here is the incident here. Well, there it is. He's just lost it.
Oh,
you got to say for Macquarie. To be fair to Macquarie,
look at the hand from Macquarie.
Yeah, that's a sneaky bit of play.
Sneak.
But you got to say for Macquarie. I mean, they've turned a lot of ball over in the second half, and they've given away a squillion penalties, but they're still having a go in defence. You got to say that for them. That they haven't given anything away on their own line, and that at least will be pleasing for Adam Bettridge.
So Gallen running straight into Callan Adams. Gets up, plays the ball. Backer comes down to Hyde. He finds Briggs. Right boot to the ball. Goes straight down to James Varka. They haven't been able to let him run. And that's why they're trying to bundle him towards touch.
4-man tackle, including Scott Briggs there.
Pywell along with Vavali Eli and Shamidal. There's Varvey again in there along with
shoulder charge.
Gallen. Penalty.
Here we go, Morgan.
Calling over Gallen.
You call over some to Gallen, probably Murray as well.
Swaddling as well in there.
Swaddling, not Gallen, sorry.
Well, that's 4 on my count. That's 4 penalties in a row in pretty quick time that I can remember.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Well, there it is. There's the chat. So maybe another one if there's another penalty, probably, especially in this 6.
Could be putting his 10 fingers up.
He could be, yes, which would be unusual to think that a Macquarie player is going to a sin bin for repeated infringement when they're up by 32 points. You'd think a team getting this amount of penalties would have a couple of points to show for it.
So Tom Aylett's patience being tested here from Macquarie. He's given them a fringe notice, one might say. Next time they might have to pay for points. That's the 30-metre line. Northern end of Lyle Peacock Field. Kelly's been quiet. Ekanofo on the same boat. Injured there, Marcel.
I think
Marcel's in all sorts of bother here.
I think Chris Hyde was trying to do the right thing by him there and signalled to the referee that he was injured, and nobody else seemed particularly interested. It's rare that you would see the opposition player be the most concerned out there about an injury.
So we're counting down to finals football here in the Newcastle Rugby League, and come along for the journey. It starts in a fortnight's time.
Got a message from the boss here, Pete.
Kylie Aylett's on the text.
Yep. How's it going?
Just tell her the ref's having a shocker.
All right.
She'll need to cook him tea. No, he's going all right. He's solid performance. We'll give him 8.5.
Yeah, but he's having a good performance. But you got to stir the pot a little bit, surely to heavens.
Oh yeah.
Well, they've got a second bedroom. Sometimes he does sleep out the back. Sometimes he tells me there. Here they go. Up they go. Simon's gone without it. Back to Murray. He's been pushed in the touch.
Oh, that would have been really close.
Oh, that was a class act.
It just won't happen for them today, Lakes. They're just having one of those days that you have sometimes. You know, everybody has them. Doesn't matter whether you're playing football.
Well, the touch is in.
Yep.
Oh, hello.
This will be interesting.
What's the touch you want, Tom?
I'm just as a first guess. I couldn't see anything that stood out to me, so I'm guessing one of the players has given him a mouthful.
All right. Well, we just spoke about patience. Let's see if he's going to stick the 10 up. Who's he going to call out first of all? He's going to call out
Brad Murray.
Bradley Murray. Well, he ended up in the fence. Bradley's just looking around and saying, I need a bit of support here, and he's calling out Josh Charles. So Charles will come into shot now. So there's your combination. There's Tommy. Looks quite small up against Bradley Murray, doesn't he?
Looks small against a lot of people, Pete.
Especially Murray. And the touch judge, well, he looks like King Kong. Now they're going to actually here give the penalty to the home side.
I've just found out what was actually said, and let me tell you, there was a couple of adjectives that start with F.
Where do you, I mean, as a referee, the penalty for back chat, I mean, is there, does the situation of the game come into your mind? Because I always think that if it's 5 minutes to go in a grand final or 5 minutes to go in a really close game or a big game, players, you know, they get overheated and they say things they shouldn't say. And a penalty in that situation can completely change the game and possibly change the season. Does that weigh on your mind? I mean, surely there are times where you have to expect that the players are going to be a little bit less courteous than they otherwise would be, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I tend to just turn away from the ones that usually start with "Are you serious?" or the ones that have those sort of expressions in it. But when they're definitely their eyes on me and they're directed at me, and it's just plain abuse that has nothing to do with anything, then that's when I'll usually blow a penalty.
Here's a bust being made by the Scorps. This is Swaddling. He's going to take on Gilmere, and he's going to roll over and be held up.
Oh, no.
Oh, so close yet so far.
What a tackle.
Haley's Comet.
It landed upside down.
Hang on, I reckon I want to see a replay of this.
That's like tackling a vending machine.
Look at the huge divot. The curator's going to have a job and a half this week. They've just put down new grass
here. He's going to have to put a sand bucket in his trousers. Look at this.
I didn't even know he was that quick.
Well, neither did I, but he just busted through there. Oh, no, he was. He's held up. There you go.
Look
and then he turned over. It's a great tackle.
Was that Charles?
Yeah, I think so. As they're in the corner here.
There's the try. Try in the corner for the Macquarie Scorpions. We had the replay, but a promise is a promise and a try is a try.
A lot of the Macquarie players just ran over to Swaddling and unlucky, mate. That should have been yours.
Oh, I tell you what, he'll be watching that replay a few times through the week.
The replay of the replay.
Well, we haven't got a replay because we were looking at the replay, but I'm more interested actually at 36 points to nil to have a look at that replay again of the guy being held up because I want to see the grass go up in the air.
Can I say, I'm backing our production people 100% because, you know, if there's a chance of a front rower scoring a 30-metre breakaway try, we need to see that, and we need to see it a few times.
Yeah.
I support them wholeheartedly.
That's great. Now, this is the no try. Just have a look at this.
Great piece of work.
But we can put this down to the lead-up of the four-pointer, which we have to sort of imagine. But it was a good try. But just have a look at this again. Poor old Jamie Gilmere.
Well, it was a simple try in the end. I mean,
Murray
this
just
scrambled them so much. They thought this was a try, I think. The Lakes defenders, they all huddled up. And then Macquarie next tackle just went wide, and
who
Nathan Cantor. It was Nathan Cantor. Yeah, in the three.
Oh, Cantor's probably going to go home and like, honey, I scored a try. Let's have a look at it. We're just playing replays of Adam Swaddling.
Yeah.
Well, we like creativity. And they've scored so many points here today through tries that we thought we'd see something a little bit unusual. How many times does Swaddling get denied and the poor old rye grass goes halfway over his bald head?
I've never even seen Adam Swaddling make a line break.
You want to have another look at it?
No.
Okay, we'll stick with the kick.
I've had enough of...
Look at them. They're the fans that will be there for finals football. Of course, this is... the clubs, well, I think we can go off the record now, or on the record, to say that this will become the club's first ever minor premiership in the history of the club here today.
Oh, hang on. Don't go off too early. I mean, you know I love the table. Let's go to the table.
Stuff your table.
No. The table never lies. Let's go to the table.
Wouldn't you rather see if he gets the kick?
No.
Because your table might go up another two.
No, so, hang on, what's the score? 36-0.
Yeah, we'll
so
put
that
that
makes
into
the points
equation.
difference. I love this.
All right.
The points difference now is 158, right? South are playing at the moment against Maitland, is that right?
That's right.
So if South win today, they're the only South and West are the only two teams that can catch them. South's points difference at the start of the day was plus 90. West was plus 86. So if Macquarie were to lose to South next week, or if Macquarie were to lose to South next week and say West were to put on a cricket score tomorrow and then put another and then win handily against Lakes, they still could finish out of the minor premiership. It's not over yet, Peter.
All right.
But at the moment, they're 60 points difference, points clear. So they're looking good.
So it's
but
not over yet.
We can't start declaring no names on the trophy or anything like that.
So the engraver has to go easy on his little instrument.
He's just got to wait.
What happens if he doesn't want to wait?
Well, he risks having to do it again. what happens in that situation? Do they cover it over and start again?
Bringing out the table, Morgan. That's like trying to defend me saying that it could still be a draw right now.
Well, I think your tip's out the window.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Yeah. If I'm back next week, I don't think I'm going to pick a draw.
40-20 here, Pete.
Don't mess with Morgan
40-20.
Campbell. If he says it's a 40-20, Tommy, we better believe it.
Yep.
It is. Definitely a 40-20.
It's just been... this is... the momentum of today. It's hilarious. I mean, everything that Macquarie have done has worked. And everything that Lakes have done, they've stuffed up. It's just one of those days. You almost, as a coach, Dean Noonan would almost have to say to Lakes, just forget about it. You've just got to write that off as a day that everything went wrong and come back next week.
Don't strip that ball. One. You're done. Hey, stand up. Don't
This is why they've got the football back.
stand. Hey, the ball.
From that replay, the pitchers told the story. Briggs out the back door, play on. Varvielli steps, weaves, jinks, straightens, dumped.
Look, I think, Pete, in the interest of justice here, Macquarie really just need to keep hitting Adam Swadling as often as... Oh, he's on the bench. Oh, well, that's the end of that. They've got to get him his try. I mean, he's earned it.
So the pitchers now come back through the middle of the park here, Morgan. That's Alchin. Are we able to capture another try?
The
pass has gone out the back door. That's Allen. Oh, here comes a try. Is it Briggs? Steps, weaves. Got it out the back door. Cantor.
Another double.
Oh, Cantor's got two. Cantor picks up Macquarie's 40.
It's a day of doubles here, Pete.
Oh, have you got the double?
Oh,
Wouldn't you love to have the double? I've never had a double in my life. Have you? Morgan's a raffle man. Have you ever picked up the daily double?
I have, actually. Only once at an Anzac Day game between the Roosters and St George's about 2 or 3 years ago. Still remember it.
Can I ask something?
It was Jason. I think it was Jason Nightingale. Might have been the bloke from the Dragons, and Aidan Guerra in the 12 went over.
I want to know what you
Collect.
got. Bit of fish, bit of meat.
$100, my friend.
$100. Well, that would buy you a whole fish shop. Here's the pass out the back door that we thought may have stopped the momentum, but the momentum picked up. And Randall Briggs, what a match he has had along with Gallen. He just stood up Ikanofo. He looked right, he looked left, and who was there in support? Cantor. But Cantor had to barge his way through the half-crash gate, one might say. It was rattling on the hinges, you know, the wooden picket fence.
Yeah, right.
And the picket fence went Bushka and Cantor went bingo.
Is that the fence that I'm sitting on at the moment?
It's a bit prickly, isn't it?
That's my fence.
Here's the kick now to make it 42-0.
I reckon he's a special to put this over. They've just got the graces with the
aura. Yeah.
I reckon you and I could go out there in Macquarie jumpers and start putting tries on. It's not a comment I make lightly.
That's probably not a picture that the fans would love to see. Then again,
do you ever play, Morgan?
Text us in if you want to see Morgan Campbell out there doing his stuff, along with his few friends sitting there.
5 seasons in the number 9 for Cessnock up until
under
12s. I think under 11s might have been my last year.
That's a good effort, Morgan. Did well, mate. 22 metres out the kick. Varvielli from the touchline.
Hey.
He's got it. He can't do anything wrong.
One of those days.
It's 42-0. Oh, we've got a highlights reel coming up tonight on Bar TV. Where do you start it and when do you stop it? We might break the record tonight. 14 minutes is the longest highlights we've ever had in the history of Bar TV Sports, you know, Mr. Campbell.
Yeah.
I think we can annihilate that tonight.
Oh, 100%. The highlight package will go for 25 minutes.
That's spot on. Here's the kick. Saturday afternoon football. 2 weeks out from the semi-final series. Live and exclusive across Bar TV Sports. Where else would you rather be? On the home of Newcastle Rugby League, but right here, watching it from your bed, your bath, your gardening tool too.
I'd have thought most of the Lakes people would rather be at the Workers' Club. That'd be my guess.
I know.
Or anywhere
couple of
else.
my mates are watching this at work. They're doing a cashy today, so they're watching that from there, yeah.
Good stuff.
Game and Ringer said, tune in, get your phone out, stick it on a table, and just watch and enjoy.
Crikey, I hope they got a good data quota.
I hope they're not Lakes fans. I would have stitched them up.
So inside the last 8 minutes here, that's Hyde. Banging it downfield. That's the number 5 in Varka. Running backwards, now going forward, and straight into Pywell, and he's cleaned up there by the winger. 5 metres in from the Western touchline. Plays it back then out of Bradley Murray. They've cut him out of the match. That's for sure. I'm still getting over the possession chart in the first half. Leading into half-time, it must have been 85% to 15 in favour of Macquarie inside Lakes' half. That is a telling factor. Back there now, it comes to the halfway line and beyond. Where it comes now, back it comes to D-Sacks. He now finds, well, he's still running with the gusto, which is good. That is old Sean Boss. And now they're back to the halfway.
If you ever doubt...
Oh, hold on. There's an injury.
There is.
This is not good.
No, it's Randall Briggs. He's looking in a bit of pain. I don't quite know what happened to him there. I'm just going to say, if you ever doubted that there was so, and I'm not a religious man, but if you ever doubted that there was a football god, have a look at that kick. I think it was James de Sacks. Yeah. The ball was on the ground. He puts the toe on it. It can bounce either way. Where do you think it bounced?
I don't know.
Which side do you reckon ended up landing on?
I want to come back to you, Morgan. You just said you're not a religious man. We had the census the other night.
I said not a religious man.
You're not a religious.
Yeah, that's right.
It asked for religion. Asked for 5 boxes to tick. Which one did you tick?
I haven't filled out the census as yet, so
You're offline.
I am at the moment. Yeah. Well,
the government was offline too that night. You got another 3 weeks now.
I'm glad it happened to the census. Can I just say I'm glad that internet hack happened to the census and not to Bar TV, because that would be a loss for society, wouldn't it? Cause genuine community outrage.
It would be. But anything is good publicity, though.
I suppose this game rather unravelling at the moment. I mean, it's been a pretty frayed affair over the last half an hour. Both sides turning a lot of ball over. And
Super Gas is our sponsor today, Morgan, our match day sponsor. You know what to do when it's time for Super Gas. They've got a lot of special offers this week. Supergas.net.au, my friend. I'll tell you what, Lakes might give them a ring this week, the way they're going today.
Oh, no.
Oh, that's the story.
Hello.
Give them 2 free bottles of gas.
No more than...
What were you going to say? They'll need more than 2 bottles.
When I walked in here this morning, I had Super Gas.
Yeah.
Very opinionated today, Morgan. I like that.
Yeah.
It generates the tweets when you're opinionated. That's why radio talkback works.
Yeah,
without opinion, we haven't got much left.
Dear, oh dear. Like so... They're just going to have to...
All right.
Noonan just has to say, forget about it.
Yeah, I was going to say, scratch it out of the mind.
Yeah, it's a non-event.
All right.
They've just had it's just been a horror show from the first minute, and it hasn't got any better.
A horror show. It's probably the first horror show we've had on Saturday afternoon football, but I like the line. I like the headline. Might scare the kids. But the adults know what you mean. That's Hyde. He ain't any horror show. He's a freak show. He is the freak. Oh, hold on. We've got a... Oh, that's Isaac Briggs is putting it down. He had the fumbles.
I got to tell you, this is tough viewing for the general public now. I think it's funny, though. I mean, for Adam Bettridge and for Macquarie, the jubilation of winning was all over in the first half. They went in at half-time. The game was, for all intents and purposes, over. So this second half is a strange feel for the crowd. Everything's a little bit flat, you know. There's not going to be a big roar of celebration at full time. The players won't be really hooping and patting each other on the back. The air has sort of gone out of the day for them already. It'll be interesting, the celebration, once this game's over.
The gas is out of the cylinder, Morgan.
Look, if you absolutely wanted to put it that way, yes, I suppose you could.
But if you wanted to air that cylinder, you know what to do, don't you? Supergas.net.au. Fill it up. Specials this week at Supergas. And, you know, after you wash it down with a nice drop from Cornelia's Crumb.
Wash what down? The Supergas?
Well, you could if you wanted to do that.
If you're ingesting a Supergas.
You know what, Pete?
Yes?
All this commentary has just got me gassed.
Oh, boom, Tish. Thanks, Tom, down the sideline for Benedict Waste Recycling. You'll be back next week. Here's the kick out wide Comes back there now to the Seagulls. It's the last tackle still. Here's Harton with the kick. Lovely catch, though. Lovely positional play there by the Scorpions.
Yeah, but, I mean, Dylan Harton, he sticks it on the toe.
Yeah.
And it couldn't have landed any better. It just rolled straight into the arms.
Isaac Briggs is in trouble there, Morgan.
He didn't even have to move.
Being knocked on the chin there.
It's cosmic.
Cosmic.
There's cosmic forces against them today.
Cosmic forces. Does that mean it's like a cosmetic, meaning a little bit...
no, it does.
It's not cosmetic?
Well, I must say, it's not looking very good for them, so I suppose it must be.
I like that. The kiss. Keep it simple.
Yeah.
Lovely.
There's another
They're
knock on
keeping
here.
it a little bit.
Penalty.
Well, we've had enough knock-ons.
Well,
penalty time.
We've had enough to see us for a lifetime here today. Oh, yeah. He's just lifted the knee there, Tom.
The referee could get 2 weeks for that.
It'd be the ultimate It'd be the ultimate insult, wouldn't it?
I didn't know he could get it up that high, but he's done well.
Pulled a hemi doing so.
It's not going into touch.
No.
There you go. It's the
Stop it. They've ballsed it up.
That's all right. Thiessen would have tapped it and knocked it on probably.
It's turning into a comedy show. 42-0, 32 at half-time. Who was our first try scorer this afternoon? Do we know?
Oh, I can't
Was
remember.
it
about 9 tries ago.
I think it was
Simon.
It was Simon, wasn't it? Matt Simon.
Now, what happens? What happens for your daily double if Lakes don't score? I think in the old days, it used to go to the number 9. If there was no try, they'd give it to the number 9 because the hooker never scored. But I don't know if that's still the way it works. So that might be a question. That might have to go to maybe the Administrative Appeals Tribunal or something. Who wins the double today?
32-0 our half-time score for everybody that's just clicked onto the stream. And Matt Simon was our first try scorer. And if anyone's interested in full-time, it's not over yet, but it's 42 points to 0 as the kick goes downfield. Gareth Wozig, I hope you're listening. Here it comes back then out of the halfway. Well, where are they now? I can't even see. These shadows are doing my eyes out. Back then, who's this? Simon. Well, he was our first try scorer. You know that? It was. I just got told that. Yeah, I didn't.
I was here.
You were here?
I saw it, yeah.
Oh, I was on that cosmic jet.
I was down at the sideline.
Thanks, Tom. Down there for Benedict Waste Recycling.
Yeah.
If you've got any junk throughout the week, mate, get in contact with them. They throw out all sorts of... You know what? I had junk in my backyard this week. I was absolutely flabbergasted with the quote. Morgan, next time I'm ringing you up and one of your council mates from up Cessnock's coming to get my crap.
It's not... I don't know where you... I don't think you
Crap
live in...
from that time you had gas.
I don't think you live in my jurisdiction, Pete. I don't think I can help you there,
Yeah,
mate.
but if you come down in your own truck and take it up and dump it outside your front door, they wouldn't have a clue where you got it from. Back there now it comes this time to Subner.
They would have
puts in the kick downfield.
They would
what a catch.
That's Matt Craig, Morgan.
Pete, if they were tuned into Bar TV and watching this, they'd know everything about what you're trying to pull.
Did I strike you as a bloke who has a truck? I mean, really?
Well, you moved house last week. Who did it?
Oh, I had to.
You could have come down and picked my crap up along the way. I suppose you listened to it for 24 weeks of the year. You probably didn't want any more crap. As we see the play continuing, Morgan Campbell and Tom Taylor, they'll be in the commentary box throughout the final series this year. As we see a bust made by Lakes. A rare one, but we've seen it. Out the back door, it comes to D-Sax. There's Ikanofo, run like the wind. And he's cut down there by Adam Grew. Actually, Adam Grew picked up a try when they last met back in round 13 when Macquarie got up by 26-24. There's the kick downfield as Briggs comes away with it. And he's been put away there, Tom Taylor, by Sean Boss.
You reckon they got one more here?
Let's hope they've got one more in them. Have you got one more in your Morgan for today?
I'd say they'll try something. I'd be very surprised if they didn't try and put one more on for the fans.
Chip and chase.
Well, the crowd want it. Are the crowd about to get it? What's
maybe
the scoreboard?
Where's Matt Simon? Maybe a chip over the top for him. He's not too close to the action at the moment, but that'd be the play.
All right, then we'll see what happens. Here's a bust. And the bust has come to an end.
Send it short side.
They'll need a new balloon. Who wants to be the balloon now? That's Briggs. He's going to put it on the toe. Varka's going back along with Gulmere. And Gulmere says, let's just kick it over the dead ball line in goal and try and wind down this clock because it's 42-0.
The fat lady just started singing.
Oh, there's a few around.
Yeah, she's been warming up for a while. I got to say,
she was ready to go at half time.
Yeah, I think the Lakes side here have to have the quickest shower they possibly can, get changed and go home. And just forget about this today. We haven't seen anywhere near the best of them. I think we've pretty much seen the worst of them. That is a rare event. I don't think it's what we should expect from them for the rest of the season. This was just a day that they were off. Macquarie, they were very, very off, in fact. Macquarie were very, very on, and that's why it's 42-0. I think when these sides inevitably bash into each other at some point in the semi-finals, you'll see a much closer and a much more competitive game. But for today, Macquarie deserved to enjoy it. They played very well. They lifted for the occasion. And you've got to say they're right amongst the favourites for the grand final this year.
Okay, well, congratulations, the Macquarie Scorpions. The first minor premiership in the club's history after Downing Lakes today.
Likely.
I think it's a given.
Mathematically likely.
Likely. Okay, it's likely. And the final score, well, we know that. We can confirm that. It was 42-0.
Not a draw.
Not a draw.
Damn it.
Saturday afternoon football has come to an end, and it wasn't a score that we were expecting. But Macquarie Scorpions, they're flying high in 2016. They'll now take to the field next week against Souths, while Lakes will take on Western Suburbs. Their last match of the year here in the preliminary rounds. Could they be back in the finals? That's a given now. But it's their day. It's Old Boys' Day, clinching the minor premiership. The reserve grade squads here from 1974, the winning reserve grade squad. They're going over now to acknowledge those guys along with the Old Boys on the George Caesar Hayne Hill. Of course, in memory of George Hayne, who was a life member. But the day belongs to the Macquarie Scorpions. It's the final score of 42-0. Well, guys, thanks very much. We're not far away now for finals football. That feeling, that tingling feeling, you can only fire it at this time of the year, can't you, Morgan?
Speak for yourself.
You don't get that tingling feeling?
No, I know exactly what you mean. I feel like the finals will be welcome because, but for 5th and 6th, I mean, the top 5 is pretty much settled, and so we're just waiting to get to those big games now. The big teams are ready. It's time to get it happening.
And it's time to go. Tom, down on the touchline, thanks very much for your contribution today, mate. Absolutely outstanding.
Thanks, boys. It's good fun. Enjoy it.
You'll be back throughout the finals football?
Oh, yeah, hope so. I really hope so. If you'll have me back, that'll be excellent.
We'll have you back. Well, we'll leave you now with these images. This is a moment to savour, Macquarie Scorpions fans. Although Morgan Campbell differs to beggar, but I think that shot will reflect the first minor premiership that this club has ever had in its history.
Allow me to jump off the fence and agree with you there, Pete.
Good on you. Morgan will